A young woman vanishes in the dead of night. Her phone, her keys, her wallet, all left behind. Her husband, he says she went out with friends. But her friends? They say that's a lie. 3 days later, a chilling discovery in a desolate field changes everything. This is the story of Jasmin Cigarroa, a vibrant 24-year-old whose life was cut short in a betrayal so cold, it'll leave you questioning how well you really know the people closest to you. Stay with me, because this case, it's a twisted maze of secrets, lies, and a truth that's almost too horrific to believe. Welcome back to True Crime Tales, where we unravel the stories behind the crimes that shake us to our core. I'm your host, James, and today we're diving into a case from Denver, Colorado. A case that's as heartbreaking as it is infuriating. It's the story of Jasmin Cigarroa, a young woman with dreams as big as the Rocky Mountains whose life ended in a way no one saw coming. So grab a seat, maybe a coffee, and let's walk through this together. But fair warning, this story, it will grip you, and it won't let go. It's March 2021, and Denver, it's waking up from a long, cold winter. The city's Central Park neighborhood, it's bustling. Families, young professionals, students, all sharing the same streets. Among them is Jasmin Cigarroa, a 24-year-old with a smile that could light up a room. Jasmin, she was the kind of person everyone loved. Hardworking, intelligent, fiercely loyal. She worked as a leasing agent, pouring her heart into helping others find a home. But her own home, that's where the shadows started to creep in. Jasmin lived with her husband, Jonathan Nuno Mijangos, a 23-year-old she'd married young. To the outside world, they were a typical couple, navigating life's ups and downs. But beneath the surface, things weren't as rosy. Jasmin's family, they knew there was tension, whispers of arguments, moments of control. In 2019, Jonathan, he'd been charged with assaulting Jasmin, accused of strangling her in a fit of rage. Jasmin, ever hopeful. She dropped those charges, believing love could fix what was broken. But some cracks, they just run too deep. On March 8, 2021, Jasmin's life, it seemed normal. She was texting friends, making plans. One friend, let's call her Sarah, she agreed to meet Jasmin that evening. But Jasmin, she never showed up. Sarah called, texted, no reply. The next day, March 9th, Jasmin, still nowhere to be found. Her phone, silent. Her social media, dead. That's when Jonathan stepped in, telling police a story that raised eyebrows. He claimed Jasmin, she'd gone out with friends on March 8th and never came back. He said he was worried. But was he? The Denver Police Department, they took the report on March 10th. Missing persons cases, they're tricky. Sometimes people just need a break, a moment away. But Jasmin's case, it felt different. Her family, they were adamant. Jasmin, she wasn't the type to vanish. She was responsible, always checking in. And then, there was the apartment. When police searched it, they found Jasmin's phone, her keys, her wallet, all left behind. Who leaves everything they need to survive? The pieces, they weren't adding up. Your heart, it's racing, because you know something's wrong. Jasmin's not answering, her stuff's still at home. And her husband's story, it's flimsy at best. The police, they felt it too. They started digging deeper, and what they found next, it turned this missing persons case into something far darker. On March 12th, just 3 days after Jasmin was last seen, a chilling call came in. Out in rural Adams County, about 20 miles from Denver, a passerby, they stumbled across something horrific. Along a quiet stretch of East 26th Avenue and Powhatan Road, hidden in the tall grass, were black plastic bags, duct-taped shut. When police arrived, they found a body inside, covered in dirt as if someone had tried to erase it from existence. The Denver medical examiner, they later confirmed the worst: the remains. They were Jasmin Cigarroa's. She'd been strangled, her life stolen in a brutal act of violence. Jasmin, she was gone. The vibrant young woman who dreamed of a bright future, now just a name in a coroner's report. For her family, the pain, it was unimaginable. But the question, burning in everyone's mind, who did this? The answer, as it so often is in cases like these, was closer to home than anyone wanted to believe. Police, they turned their focus to Jonathan Nuno Mijangos. His story about Jasmin going out with friends, it was unraveling. Jasmin's friend Sarah, she confirmed, she never met Jasmin that night. Neighbors in the apartment complex, they came forward with damning details. One heard a loud bang on March 9th, like a body hitting the floor, coming from Jasmin and Jonathan's unit. Another saw Jonathan moving Jasmin's car that night acting nervous, carrying a black backpack, and then there was the digital trail, cell phone data. It placed Jonathan near the exact spot in Adams County where Jasmin's body was found. Coincidence? Hardly. On March 12, 2021, the same day Jasmin's body was discovered, police arrested Jonathan Nuno Mijangos. He was charged with first-degree murder, first-degree assault, tampering with a deceased human body, and abuse of a corpse. The charges, they painted a grim picture. Not only had Jonathan allegedly killed his wife, but he'd gone to horrific lengths to cover it up. The black plastic bags, the duct tape, the remote field, it was calculated, cold, and cruel. As the case built, more details, they emerged. Prosecutors, they revealed Jonathan's history of domestic violence. That 2019 assault charge, it wasn't a one-off. Friends, family, they shared stories of controlling behavior, moments where Jasmin, she seemed afraid. The Denver District Attorney's Office, they classified this as a domestic violence homicide, a stark reminder of how often these tragedies start behind closed doors. Now, let's take a moment. Jasmin's story, it's not just a case file. She was a daughter, a sister, a friend. She loved her job, her community, her life. She deserved so much more than what happened to her. Domestic violence. It's a silent epidemic, claiming lives like Jasmin's every single day. In the U.S., 1 in 4 women, they'll experience abuse in their lifetime. For many, like Jasmin, the danger, it's closest to home. Her story, it forces us to ask, how do we miss the signs, and how do we stop this from happening again? The case, it went to trial in August 2024, more than 3 years after Jasmin's death. The courtroom, it was packed. Family, friends, a community, seeking justice. Prosecutors, they laid out an airtight case. The cell phone data, the neighbor's testimony, the physical evidence. It all pointed to Jonathan. The defense, they tried to poke holes, arguing the evidence was circumstantial. But the jury, they weren't swayed. After days of testimony, they returned with a verdict. Guilty on all counts. On sentencing day, the courtroom, it was heavy with emotion. Jasmin's family, they spoke. Their words owed a mix of grief and resolve. Denver District Attorney Beth McCann, she called Jasmin a hard-working and intelligent woman, stolen from the world too soon. The judge, he delivered the mandatory sentence for first-degree murder, life in prison, without the possibility of parole. Jonathan Nuno Mijangos, now 27, he'd spend the rest of his days behind bars. Justice, it was served, but it's a hollow victory. No sentence can bring Jasmin back. Her family, they're left with memories, photos, and a void that will never fill. But Jasmin's story, it doesn't end in that courtroom. Her life, her spirit, it lives on in the people who loved her. And her case, it's a call to action. If you, or someone you know, is in a dangerous relationship, there's help out there. The National Domestic Violence Hotline. It's 1-800-7999-SAFE. You are not alone. As we close this chapter, let's remember Jasmin Cigarroa, not as a victim, but as a woman who lit up the world. Her story, it reminds us to hold our loved ones close, to listen, to act. Thank you for joining me on this journey through one of Denver's most heartbreaking cases. If this story, it moved you, hit that like button, share it with someone who needs to hear it, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about Jasmin's case, or if there's another story you want me to cover. Until next time, stay safe, stay curious, and keep seeking the truth.